Today we will study topic perspective in sociological and philosophical basis of education, part 1, B.Ed first semester, unit 1. First of all, I will discuss the meaning of education. The word Shiksha is derived from Sanskrit root Shiksha, which means to acquire knowledge or to learn. The word teaching is also derived from Sanskrit root Shiksha, which means to teach. Now, the word education is used in the combined sense of both learning and to teach. Thus, education means the systemic development of character, mental, and inherent power by obtaining knowledge in an educational institution or from a guru. The English synonyms for the education or Shiksha is education, which is derived from the Latin word educatum, which means to educate or to bring out. Now moving to the next slide. In this slide, we will discuss the narrow meaning of education. Generally, the meaning of education is taken from the education which the child receives in school. In this form, education is given to the child in a certain sequence by a certain person. The teacher teaches certain books or the subjects according to the school's timetable on the basis of predetermined syllabus, while the children's receptivity is measured on the basis of examination. Now we'll discuss comprehensive meaning of education. In its broadest sense, the whole life is education, or education is life. The process of education starts from the birth of a person and continues till death as his experiences increase at every step. He continues to receive education. DB Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao has called education the organization or reorganization of experiences. Thus, like the development of life, the process of education never ends. Rather, it continues even after the student leaves the school. Education actually a process of growth. Now, moving to the next slide, we will discuss definition of education according to Indian educationists and thinkers. First, Rabindranath Tagore, the meaning of education is to enable the mind to discover the internal truth, to make it its own and to express it. According to Mahatma Gandhi, by education I mean the full development of the best powers, physical, mental, and spiritual inherited in the child and the individual. According to the Western educationist and thinker, Plato education develops all the beauty and perfection contained in the body and soul of the child, which he has potential. According to Froebel, writes, mm, education is the process of displaying the inherent quality inherited in a man, which is his essence. Not only this, education makes man conscious of the essence. Now moving to the next slide, we will discuss modern definition of education. The definition of education given by Dr. Subodh Adwal is an appropriate definition in the context of India in which the full meaning of education is present. Education is thought process by which the thoughts and behavior of the person changes and development takes place in the society. Now moving to the next slide, we will discuss source of education. Source of educations, many source of education have been considered like family, school, society, state are four main ones. If you are talking about family, the main and first source of education is considered to be the family. Family is the place where great qualities are born in the child and the seeds of the values are planted. Second, if you are talking about school, the second source of education is a school. Schools plays an important role in the balanced development of child. Society builds the school to fulfill its needs and aspiration. The school molds the students as the society wants by fulfilling the expectation of the society. If you're talking about society, the third source of education is society. When the child comes in the contact with the people close to him, he learns many things from them. The merits and demerits of society have a direct impact on the child. Society influences a child through its conduct, way of life, and behavior. Fourth one is the state. The fourth source of education is the state, right? Every state influence education in some way or the others. The state makes arrangement for formal, informal, and non-formal education for the child. Now, in next we will discuss the meaning of education philosophy. According to the Cunning, first philosophy is the science of all things. Thus, the philosophy of education looks at the problems of education in all its main aspects. Second, philosophy is the science of knowing all things through ultimate reason and query. Therefore, in the field of pedagogy, one studies the deeper problem as a whole, and for pedagogy, these problems are added to the study than they are immediate and which can be easily studied by the legal method. For example, the problem of only measurement of student aptitude. Now, moving to the next slide. Therefore, we can say that education philosophy, like philosophy, is a discipline which considers the deep problem of education in a logical manner and tries to solve the education problems in a philosophical manner. That is the determination of philosophical ideas in relation to different part of education is called as education philosophy. Great German philosopher which has said that there is an interdependent relationship between philosophy and education. They are incomplete and meaningless without each other. In absence of philosophy, education can never be complete or clear. On the other hand, educationists accept that education in life is incomplete in the absence of philosophical ideas. Philosophical ideas guide educational action. That is to say that education theory, teaching practice, and philosophical ideology are interdependent. Now, moving to the next slide. Here I will discuss two things are necessary to complete any work. First one is idea or purpose, and second is the experiment or practice. Okay, philosophy is the idea or purpose of objective side, and education is the practical or action side. It can also be said in this way that philosophy sets the goal of life and propounds principle by thinking or analyzing. Education put these principles into practice or application. That is to say that education turns theory into practicality. This is why Adams has said that education is the dynamic aspect of philosophy. Now, moving to the next slide. Here, I will discuss relationship of philosophy and education. Philosophy and education have a reciprocal relationship. Both of these are integral part of life. They have an effect on each other. If one changes, the other also changes. That is why the education philosopher like Adams, Ross, Gentle, Fitch, etc. has have considered the relationship between education and philosophy to be interdependent. Second means a human's life has two-sided. If you're talking about human's life, it has two sides. It's like a theoretical and practical. The theoretical side is called philosophy, and the practical side is called education. According to the Butler, he has said that philosophy is characterized by subtle thinking, and education consists of effort to practice. The answer of why is found in philosophy, which is related to the educational thought or theory, and in education it appears in the form of how, such that how here theory assumes practical form. In fact, philosophy without education is crippled, and education without philosophy is blind. In other words, philosophy is the soul, education is the body. Now moving to the next slide. In fact, philosophy without education is crippled, and education without philosophy is blind. Both are complementary to each other. Both are aspect of same process. They are two-sided of same coin. In words of Ross, philosophy and education two sides of the same coin, presenting different perspective of same thing, and one embedded in the other. Like Ross G.E. Patel, while expressing the mutual relationship between education and philosophy, has said that in a serious sense, it would be quite appropriate to say that as education is based on philosophy, in the same way philosophy is based on education. This statement of John Dewey in relation to philosophy and education is important. Philosophy, in its most general form, is the theoretical aspect of education. Thus, there is an interdependent relationship between philosophy and education. Now, moving to the next slide. Thank you.